In this video, I'm going to teach you how to completely transform yourself to become unrecognizable. This is my first-hand experience from doing the exact same thing. You should take notes and pay attention because this video is going to be value-packed, and I want you to get the results that I promise you so that you end up being forced to like me and subscribe to me. That's my underlying motive. So you should definitely pause the video right now and get a pen and paper and take notes. The number one thing that you have to understand about reinventing yourself is that you are always a reflection of your habits and your lifestyle. The reason you look the way you do, the reason you act the way you do, the reason other people see you the way that they do is because of your habits. Your lifestyle determines you. All of your habits determine you. Your daily routine determines you. In order to reinvent yourself, you need to change your habits. There's this saying that I like. I don't remember who it was from. But the saying is, nothing changes if nothing changes. The only way that you're going to change something that you're frustrated with yourself about, some insecurity, something that you dislike about yourself, is if something changes. It's not going to change on its own. It's not going to change simply because you want it to change. If that's your physique or your personality, your charisma, social skills, whatever it is, it's not going to change just because you want it to change. You need to change something in your life. You need to add a new good habit or remove a bad habit, okay? For your physique, for example, this is very straightforward. If you want to have an attractive looking body, guess what? You have to work out every single day. You have to get in the gym, make that a habit. And then the reflection will slowly update. Your body will slowly change and you'll start to see the results that you want to. You'll change as a person with your physique because you changed that habit, you added that habit in, right? Or maybe you remove the habit of eating shit food as well. And so now not only are you building muscle, but you're also losing fat, right? You feel better, you have more energy. You don't have fucking gastrointestinal problems or whatever the fuck from seed oils, I don't know. You're not eating cancer food, right? You're not eating the McDonald's. You remove that bad habit, and then your reflection slowly starts to update as well. The current version of you that you want transformed is a direct result from all of the habits that you perform right now in the moment. If you don't fucking change your routine and your lifestyle, how the fuck are you supposed to change? For social skills, if you want to reinvent your social skills, what would that require? Okay, what would the most socially adept version of me do every single day? Any guesses? He would fucking talk to people, right? I used to fucking... This is a side tangent, but I thought my dating life would improve just because I was building my physique. And it kind of did, sort of, right? But it didn't start improving until I started talking to girls. But I just expected my dating life to improve even when I wasn't around any women. I didn't even download dating apps or anything. I just thought my dating life was going to skyrocket or some shit. But I wasn't talking to any women. If you want to build up a social life, you got to talk to people, right? You got to be social. You got to say, hey, good morning to people. You got to smile. You got to fucking talk to people. Make that a daily habit. So in order to reinvent yourself, step number one is to write out a list. You need to do this right now. This is an actual step. Write out a list of habits targeting what you want to change about yourself. If you are concerned with an aesthetic body transformation, guess what? Number one habits that you should be writing down are going to the gym, your routine, okay, and your diet. Focus on those two. If you want to reinvent your social life, you got to talk to people. Go make one of your habits to read a book on social skills for 10 minutes every single day. And then talk to 2 new people every single day. Talk to 2 new strangers. Even if it's just one word, talk to 2 new people every single day. Make that a part of your lifestyle, your habits. If it's to improve your mental health, okay, make it so you meditate every single morning. Make it so you spend 10 minutes at least meditating, maybe more. Meditating every single morning. Or do breath work every single morning. And then your reflection will slowly start to update into a person that looks better, looks sexier, more jacked, more attractive. He eats better, he has more energy, he's got a better social life, he's starting to date girls, his mental health is improving. Your reflection will slowly update. That's point number 2. Be patient with your reflection. There's this another saying I really like, which is to be impatient with inputs and patient with outputs. It's mostly like a business sort of saying, right? Which means be patient with the results, but be impatient with the work that you put in. In the same way, you need to be impatient with the work that you put into changing with your habit list, and patient with the results, because your reflection will change, who you are will change, but it'll take a long time. It'll take some serious time. The only reason you've gotten to where you are now, I don't know what situation you're in that you're looking to, transform yourself. The reason that you're here now is because you spent probably years doing whatever the fuck to get you here. Okay? If you ate like shit for years, you're going to be a fat piece of shit. If you're a fat piece of shit and you want to transform yourself, the reason is because you spent years eating the trash food and not working out. Okay? If you have shit mental health, the reason is because you spent years being mindless on social media, consuming trash content, and not going outside and talking to people. Okay? So don't expect to fix the problem in a few months, because it doesn't work. The habit list that you create today needs to be the habit list for life. Unless there's something special on there where it's like, okay, I need to bulk up by a bunch, and I'm going to spend a year, 6 months, a year doing that. Unless it's some like specific protocol like that, special protocol like that. The shit you do today needs to be for life. Okay? That should be point number 3, which is whatever you choose to add in your habit list, make it sustainable. Ask yourself, could I see myself living like this for the rest of my life? Okay? Gym daily? Sure, I can see myself going to the gym every day for the rest of my life. Eating clean? Sure, but like, how clean? Because I don't know if I couldn't be surgical with it every single day for the rest of my life. Okay. Well, then maybe it's like, I eat 80% clean and then 20% of my calories is junk food. Okay, now we're talking. I can do that. I can probably do that for the rest of my life. Maybe I'll have a few, screw up days, but I can definitely follow that for the rest of my life. Stuff like this, right? Could I approach 10 women a day for the rest of my life? No, of course not. I could do that as a one-time thing, maybe. But I can't do that for the rest of my life. But if like talking to strangers, 2 strangers a day, 2 new people a day for the rest of my life, yeah, I could probably do that. I might run out of strangers in my life, but anytime I see a new person, I can ask them a question or compliment them or just say hello. I can do that. That's sustainable. Your reflection won't change and update. You won't transform if you stop after a month because it's difficult. It's easy to tell people like, oh, just be disciplined and do the hard work. You should. You should not be an undisciplined piece of shit, which you probably are. Right? If you've gotten to this point, like, let's be honest, you're an undisciplined piece of shit like I was. I was a lazy motherfucker, didn't want to do any hard work, and I hated myself and I had no fucking clue why. It was because I wasn't working out or doing any of the good habits. I wasn't building a life that I could be proud of. But because we're undisciplined, we need to make sure it's sustainable so we don't fall off after a month or 2, right? Here's another saying that I really, really love, which is live how you want to forever today. Think about the person you want to transform into, your ideal self. How does he live every single day? How does he or she live every single day? What habits does he do? When he wakes up in the morning, what time does he wake up? What does he do when he first wakes up? What's his daily morning routine? What does that look like? What work does he do? What time does he go to the gym? How long does he spend in the gym? What does he do? Does he do a bodybuilding style workout? Does he just run? Does he do HIIT or some shit like that? What's his evening routine? How much sleep does he get at night? How much do you think? 8 fucking hours, right? Live how you want to forever today. There's another point on transforming yourself, which is that the people in your life currently will always see you as the loser you are today. If you're a piece of shit today, if you're weak, skinny, out of shape, maybe you're fat, skinny fat, if you're socially anxious, if you're bad with people, if you're a horrible friend, if you get no respect, if you get walked over all the time, they will almost always see you like that. There's no getting around it. I wish I could. Like, I fucking couldn't. The only exception is if you disappear for a little while and then come back. Okay? So as you're building your aesthetic physique, which should be a goal for everyone, right? So you need to make the gym one of your habits every single day. As you're building your physique, unless you disappear and pull back from them for a little while, and then suddenly reappear in their lives for like the first time in a couple of years, they won't notice a difference. Actually, I should rephrase that. They might notice a difference, but they won't treat you differently. They will not treat you with any more respect. It's just the case. I wish I could change that. I wish people would be like, oh man, you changed. You really changed. Not really true unless you disappear. I disappeared for a little while. I pulled away from my friend group completely. I pulled away from, unfortunately, most of my social life. And I was just focused on the gym for a while. And when I reappeared, I was different to them. They were like, whoa, you changed. You had a glow up. That's crazy. Then you can get some respect for that, right? But if you're around these people kind of, and it's like the most you disappear is like a couple months and shit like that, don't really expect people to not treat you like a loser. If people see you a certain way at first, it's very hard to change their minds. When they have an impression of you, a first impression, it's extremely hard to steer the ship the other way. So don't feel bad. Don't be worried about their opinion. Actually, you should be more worried about the opinion of new people that you meet. With new people I meet, they're extremely respectful. My old friend group, everyone from my old school, they all kind of still sort of see me the same way. But with new people, they instantly give me, most of the time, respect, right? They find me interesting, we can have good conversations. I normally make friends with these people, like good friends, real friends. And they can see me for who I am presently because they don't have a previous impression of me. Then here's a message that all of you will have to hear, which is you need to put in real fucking work if you want to transform yourself. Nobody transforms themselves. I transformed myself at 17, and I don't know anyone the fuck else from my old life that transformed themselves, even when they wanted to. There was one friend that made progress, and he did pretty well for himself. He got in the gym and shit like that, and he started meditating, and he did pretty okay. I think he's still on that. We've been out of touch. But bro, no one fucking transforms themselves. And you have to understand, most people today, because of the widespread self-improvement culture and shit like that, and the widespread gym culture, most people today want to. And you don't want it more than them. They really want it. You need to put in real hard fucking work. You need to put in real effort in order to get the results that you want. Go harder than you think that you have to. There's this concept of putting in the extra mile when you want something. Okay? Putting in the extra mile is essentially when you put in more work than you think is expected, then you get the result. Okay? You don't actually get the result at first when you want it. When you put in the effort, for example, you put in 1 metric of effort and you think to get 1 metric of result. That's not how it works. That's never how it's been for me. I always have to put in 100 metrics of effort. But then guess what? I get 300 metrics of result. So I get 3 times the result or 10 times the result. But I have to put in more effort up front than I want to. An example of this in nature is the farmer. The farmer, in order to get food from the earth, puts in more effort initially because he has to take the seeds, he has to plow the field, he has to clear the field, then plow the field, then he has to plant the seeds, then he has to make sure they're watered and make sure that they grow right. And only then does he get an incredible 1,000 times reward from that. only after he's put in a ton of effort. In the same way, when you are trying to transform yourself, you have to put in more effort than you think is reasonable. Okay? Even on the day you think you can skip, don't fucking skip. Pretend like that's the end of the world. And if you skip one day, don't skip 2 fucking days. Because that's the end of the universe. Put in more effort than you think is necessary. Go harder. Work out harder than you think is necessary. Or fucking, I don't know, other examples for other areas you want to improve in. You really have to try to change it, to put in a ton of effort, because your brain up here, your identity, will want to stay fixed. Your brain has an image of your current self. That's your identity, okay? And here's the weird thing about the brain. After the brain starts, growing, and it's sort of all of its pathways are kind of fixed, and you get to a certain age, it doesn't like change. It doesn't like different shit, okay? It's actually very hard to change your identity, your self-image. It's extremely difficult to do. So even though in an alternate universe, you would love going to the gym, you'd be a gym rat, you'd love going to the gym, you'd be addicted to it, right? You'd be in love with it, whatever. If you're not in the gym right now, or if you're a beginner that's struggling with consistency and shit like that, you're struggling to get results, your brain will feel almost like a mental pain when you try to course correct and be like, no, we're going to the gym every day and we're going to push real hard. Your brain won't like that. It'll actually kind of resist that. Not because it's necessarily hard. It is hard, but that's not the reason. The reason is your brain hates change. This should have been a separate point on transforming yourself, but your brain really fucking hates change, unfortunately. But in order to actually change yourself, God, I'm still kind of a low level in like self-image and identity, right? Like changing your identity and shit like that. So I wish there was better advice I could give on this. All I can say is you need to sort of turn your brain off and just do the shit anyways. Whether you feel like it or not, whether you feel like, oh, this isn't what I do, turn your brain off and just do the shit anyways. Or consistently tell yourself, this is a practice I like to do, from whatever deepest part of your brain you can possibly manage, mentally say the words, I am the ideal version of myself, whatever that means. So if you're feeling resistance to going to the gym, right, your brain's like, I'm not a gym rat. I don't go to the gym. What the fuck is this? From the deepest part of your consciousness that you can reach, you go, I love the gym. I love the gym, over and over and over. I don't know if this is like some proven shit. This is actually just something I fucking made up, but it works. You say that a couple times for as long as it takes for you to feel good about it, right? Say, I love the gym. I'm the strongest person in my gym. I'm the most dedicated person in my gym. And then you go to the gym. Okay? It's changing your identity is so important in transforming yourself, right? It's extremely painful. There's kind of this quote that says like, building muscle, you have to tear down the muscle in order for it to grow back bigger and stronger. Why would the brain and the mind be the same? There's something like that. I'm butchering that for sure. But that's an extremely important part of it. In order to transform yourself, your brain has to be a part of that, and that's going to feel mentally painful, and that's normal, but you need to change your identity. Tell yourself, after you've decided your habits, right? After you've decided your ideal self and you've written out all of your habits, so you know your lifestyle is going to change, you need to tell yourself in any way possible, I am this version of me. I'm the most ideal version of myself. I go to the gym every day. I eat clean all of the time. I love talking to people. I love going out with girls. I'm extremely charismatic and social and romantic and shit like that. You have to tell yourself that, because if you don't, your brain is going to try and slip back into your old self. You ever notice how, like, when you're trying to quit a habit, if you've ever done it before, if you've not done it before, look out for this. Your brain will always automatically make the bad habit the, like, default action, even if it requires some effort, right? even if it requires like you to go out of your way. For example, smoking weed. I've never smoked weed. That's not a thing I do, but this is a good example. It kind of like it costs money and it takes some sort of effort to find it, right? But that's the automatic behavior if you're an addict. Going out of your way to smoke the weed is easier than just staying put, sitting there and doing nothing. Isn't that weird? It's because your identity has made that behavior automatic. And so what you have to do is you have to identify as just not a pothead, someone that smokes weed, not someone that drinks if you're trying to quit that, someone that works out all the time if you're trying to work out. Does that make sense? Change your identity because that's an extremely important part of transforming yourself. That's all I got. I am excited for you. Oh, no, there's one more point, which is to track your progress. Track it religiously, okay? If you're in the gym, take progress pictures. If you're trying to lose weight, step on the scale every single morning. Track all the time. Whatever you're trying to do, track it. Track it because you can't know if you're making progress unless you track it. So it's very important. And once you start seeing progress, then you will be able to recognize it immediately and feel extremely proud of yourself. That's all. If you got any value from this video, you should subscribe. Have an amazing day. Bye.